I realized I was treating our new life in a new state as a competition, only I was playing. I was so busy accumulating as many life experiences that actually forgot to live it. Sometimes the best thing you can add to your calendar is absolutely nothing. Hi, I'm Vesna, and welcome back to my channel where I share what's actually working and sometimes not working as I build a new life in a new state as a work from home mom. Today I will be sharing a story about how I started deliberately scheduling nothing time and how it completely changed the way our family experiencing weekends and life in general. This is a continuing of the conversation, a similar topic that I discussed last week about energy audit, but it's taking it a step further. When we first moved here to a new state, my approach was simple: explore everything. We would go to different new playgrounds, we would pack our weekends with activities. I turned into that mom, the one, color-coded calendar, museums in the morning, and it's educational, right? So you have to do it. And then farmers market in the afternoon, that's local culture, right? And then new playground because that's exercise. And I was collecting experiences like trophies. Nobody asked me to win. And like there was some invisible scoreboard where other families were winning because they did more, saw more, experienced more. I've been reading this blogger, Mr. Mustache, for years now, and I will make sure to leave his blog in a description. He writes mostly about personal finances and early retirement, but this was related to what Mr. Money Mustache calls mindless accumulation. But instead of stuff, I was hoarding experiences. The more scheduled, the less we experienced. The fuller our calendar became, the emptier was our connection. And I couldn't see it. I was just too busy optimizing our next adventure. It was until I completed my energy audit that I mentioned in the previous video, I decided that I should just be staying home on Saturdays more often. And then something magical happened. My kids built this elaborate fort that took over our entire living room. I drank my morning coffee while it was still hot. My 6-year-old spent 90 minutes organizing her artwork. And in the evening, nobody asked about the pumpkin patch. Nobody missed the fall festival. I've been focusing on giving my kids experiences that I'd forgotten to give them space. Space to be bored, space to create, space to just exist without an agenda. So I started an experiment. I began scheduling what I called nothing time. Literal blocks on my calendar that says nothing. Let me explain what nothing time actually look like. It's not just sitting around and staring at the wall. It's just nothing time is discovering a little seed library on our walk to the actual local library because we finally walked slowly enough. Saturday morning from 8 to 10, nothing scheduled. And then Sunday afternoon from 2 to 5, nothing planned. I'm not trying to optimize it. Whatever happens, happens. At first, it felt wrong. That voice in my head screaming, you should be at the science museum. But then I noticed when we have nothing scheduled, kids become inventors, storytellers. I become present instead of a tour guide. And the hardest part is resisting my own optimization instincts. Every empty calendar block feels like a missed opportunity. But then I'd watch my kids. They weren't missing out. They were creating stories about why clouds look like dinosaurs and being kids without a schedule to keep. A few months into protecting our nothing time, here's what's changed. We now know our neighborhood better than when I was scheduling exploration. Turns out you discover more by wandering than rushing between destinations. And our planned activities feel more special again instead of obligatory. When we go to the museum, we're excited instead of taking it off the list. And the biggest change, I actually like the weekends again. They're not just a performance review of my parenting, they're just weekends. Want to try this? Start with that. Block 2 hours this weekend, label it nothing time in huge letters, and tell your family the plan is no plan. Let them be bored, resist making it productive, no sneaking in laundry or organizing. Give yourself permission to accomplish less. And your life isn't a competition. Nobody's keeping score of your weekend achievements. I have to remind that myself too, though. I challenge you. Schedule one block of nothing time this week. Then come back and tell me what happened. Did your kids complain? Did they create something amazing? Did you discover something in your neighborhood you rushed past 100 times? Your kids won't remember every museum you drag them to. They'll remember the Saturday morning you all stayed in pajamas until noon, making up stories. Schedule less. If you're trying to build a life that's actually fulfilling instead of just full, hit subscribe. See you next week.